Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 46, where it is official. AJ Lee is back in the WWE. Light it up. That was a spectacular episode of SmackDown last night. I enjoyed the crap out of that. I actually watched that more than I watched the football game. I had them both on, and I very, very much enjoyed that episode of SmackDown. What a surprise that was. How did you feel about AJ Lee coming back? And let's talk about the whole segment.
Um, we knew it was coming. I was a little bit worried that WWE was going to pull some stupid switcheroo there and have it be like just some other random current on the roster woman, like Nikki Bella in honor of Terrence. But it was probably the worst kept secret in all of wrestling in the last little while. And she looks great. She definitely took down Becky relatively well. She looks like she's in great shape, and I think that the tag team match that we're going to get should be fantastic.
Yeah. I love that she kept her character, or like her character like didn't even miss a beat with the skipping and the what's that move called where she licks her hand and then does the slap.
Yeah, it's the slap.
Yeah, I love that. And I love like just she did like the crazy head turn thing. Like I love it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
I'm
And the
uh,
segment, yeah, go ahead.
I'm really curious though what they're going to do with her going beyond this. If this is just going to be like a one-off thing, because I don't know how much ring shape she kept in. Like physically, she looks like she's in really good shape, but I don't. Who knows when the last time she's ever actually been in a ring was?
Yeah. It's like 3,000 something days, right?
Yeah, like 10 years, something crazy like that.
So the segment as a whole, Seth Rollins, came made a surprise appearance in the crowd. Then he proceeded to introduce his wife, Becky Lynch, as we know. The crowd definitely, was letting them have it, although they were singing Rollins songs, but they were really letting Becky have it, as she insulted every single Chicago sports team that was out there. And then obviously as she continued to insult those teams, CM Punk's music hit. The crowd went nuts for Punk, and then there was a little bit more verbal altercations. Becky again started, smacking Punk and, kind of like doing that weird headbutt thing that she was doing, where she was kind of like running her head into him. I don't really understand that. But then Punk said, he's not going to hit a woman, but he did bring somebody along with him who did. And then that is when AJ Lee came out and Lee put the beat down on Becky after she kind of like skipped and scampered down to the ring. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The crowd popped massive. They were chanting for her hard. It was an absolutely spectacular segment. And as you mentioned, the worst kept secret in wrestling lately, but so good. So good.
So I don't know if you remember, but the last time that Becky and Seth were in a mixed tag team match, they went up against
Baron
somebody,
Corbin
Baron
and
Corbin, and he
Lacey
deep or
Evans.
he end of dazed uh, Becky. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna lie, part of me is kind of hoping that Becky eats a GTS.
I don't think that's going to happen because Corbin got death threats for that.
Did he?
Yep. He talked
That's
about it.
insane.
Yeah, he talked about it.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, no,
But
there's
yeah, I
no.
wouldn't have minded seeing that. But AJ and CM Punk are Chicago's favorite sons and daughters. They're such huge Chicago fans themselves, and Punk is such a huge Blackhawks fan. Like he is Mr. Chicago.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect. The fact that they were singing Seth's song, which I was kind of surprised to see Seth. That was kind of a little unexpected bonus. But keep this going. I'd be fine if AJ took the title off of Becky.
Yeah, I would too. I absolutely would too. I thought that I don't know. She looks like $1 million. I'm so glad she's back and I'm so impressed with her. And can I just say, like, I want to get into this a little bit because this was a relatively short episode of SmackDown. Like, there's not going to be a ton more to really like talk about. Um, but can I just say AEW really, really fumbled hard. You chose Jack Perry over CM Punk. That's what you did. You chose Jack Perry over CM Punk, and now this. Because this AJ Lee thing, this could have and should have happened in AEW. Like, am I
Yeah,
wrong? This should
no,
have happened in AEW. You could have told this exact story with any one of the men and women on the roster, like in AEW, and you just completely dropped the ball. And because I've been seeing a lot of chatter that the internet warriors, the AEW fans, are really really upset about this. And they were like making fun of it and stuff like that, and it's kind of all over the place. And it really kind of bothers me because let's face it, Jack Perry's not even on TV half the damn time.
that that's what I was about to say. I couldn't tell you the last time that I've actually seen Jack Perry on TV. It's been that long. And you're not wrong. AEW 100% fumbled. And they had the potential to do a great thing with Punk. And because it's such a clown show over there with the way it's run backstage between egos and just incompetence. And mind you, don't come at me, tribalist AEW fans, because we've always said on here that we both shows should be successful because it
Yep.
works for better competition. But we have no issue calling out the stupidity. Like AEW puts on great pay-per-views. We've said that for a long time now. But AEW's weekly shows are usually garbage. And you have Punk there. They had a show that was literally created just for CM Punk, that Saturday show. And you sided with Jack Perry and dropped that what you had going like that? It just asinine.
Well, and let's take aside Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and John Cena. CM Punk is a bigger star than anybody on the AEW roster by a lot.
Um,
I don't,
so
not a better wrestler, a bigger star. He is a bigger star than anybody on the AEW roster with
the
the
problem with
with the American audience.
the problem with that statement is when you look at the two fan bases, with WWE being the more widespread family oriented fan base, like the more casual fan. If you ask an AEW fan, and the fact that most of them are made up by like your super internet warriors, they would, I no doubt, say, oh, well, Kenny Omega's a bigger star. But you're right. If you're going as far as the casual audience, everyone knows CM Punk's name. And unless, I mean, now more people obviously know who Kenny Omega is, but everyone knows CM Punk. Not everyone knew Kenny Omega.
Anybody who's ever watched wrestling in the last 10 years knows who CM Punk is. I
Yep.
couldn't say the same thing about anybody on AEW's roster.
Not even
Not one
like John
person.
Moxley.
Not even, well, they would know him as Dean Ambrose. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? How many people could name 10 people on AEW's roster that are not former WWE people?
Which is crazy too when you look at how like you had Chris Jericho, who was their first champion.
Yep.
Your first champion is a former WWE star.
And then your second champion was a former WWE star. Wasn't it
Was it
Moxley?
was it Moxley the champ right after Jericho?
Didn't Moxley take it off of Jericho?
And then did Omega win it off Moxley? Yes, he did. Because he won
Hmm.
it off in that terrible the electric death match, cattle prod
Because
match, whatever it was.
Moxley was a three-time champion, I think, right?
Yeah.
'Cause
Because he beat
he
Punk.
swapped it with Punk. Yeah.
Yep.
Ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. Like this could have been their moment, and the only reason I'm even talking about this is just because I've seen so much negativity about this, and it's like, why can't people just be happy? Like
Yeah.
we are getting, like, this is incredible that we are getting this, and this Wrestlepalooza show is going to be stacked. It's
Oh, it's
going to be
gonna be better than
stacked.
Parafest.
It's going to be a great, great show. There are so many huge matches on this show.
What's the main event gonna be? Do you think it's Brock and Cena?
If it's not Brock and Cena, it's going to be Cody and Drew.
It's not gonna be this tag match?
I mean, this tag match could be it too. Think about it. Any one of these matches could be the main event. Think about the matches you're going to get on this show. You're going to get returning AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. That could be a main event on any pay-per-view. You're going to get John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. That could be a main event. And then you're going to get Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. That could
And
also be, you know what I mean? This show is going to be off the chain.
I mean, don't forget too, even the women's match that's on there is going to be lit.
Oh yeah, and then Stephanie and Io.
Io,
Yeah, I mean that's good. I mean that's going to probably be better than all three of those other matches. I mean
like,
Cody and Drew will be very good, but and Io will be the best technical match on the show.
oh yeah, I mean, Wrestlepalooza is setting itself up to be probably the best new show that's been added in a very long time.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
completely agree.
but I don't know. I never thought that I would say that I was happy to see Punk back in WWE, and we've said this for a while now. But it's been the greatest thing that has happened for the last couple of years. And like I said, we mentioned it earlier. We want AEW to do well because competition helps both companies.
Mhm.
And AEW being better makes WWE be better, which is part of why I think the WWE product has been kind of stale lately, other than a few feuds. But I absolutely, absolutely love and hope this is longer than just a couple week story.
Yeah, I do too. I did see some backstage stuff, and it looked like she did ink a deal. So hopefully she's around for a little while. I'd love to see her in the title picture.
Yep.
Hell, have her win the Royal Rumble.
I mean, even if it's just the lower card title, I don't need her to win the big title.
I mean, why not? The big title on SmackDown sucks anyway. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, true.
Tiffany's been feuding with the same two people
Yeah.
who
No, you're not wrong.
we don't want either one of them to be champion. Like, let's be honest. No,
Yeah.
no, like we've said it on this channel numerous times. We need Nia Jax out of the title picture, and frankly, we need Jade out of the title picture.
Yeah. The problem there is Jade's going to win that title.
Probably next week.
Yep.
So
Or you'll never hear me say this again, where I've said I'm hoping for Nia Jax to show up, but I'm hoping for Nia Jax to show up during that match and cost Jade.
yeah, yeah, no, I agree with you. The show proper kicked off with John Cena coming down to getting a rousing ovation from the Chicago fans, which was awesome to see because you know how the Chicago crowd is. Like they're gonna tell you how they feel, you know, and Cena noted that this would be his final appearance in Chicago and his final episode of SmackDown as well,
Yeah.
which was interesting to hear. You know, and he noted about how, you know, this is where he accepted his open challenge from Kurt Angle in 2003, which I didn't realize that that was in Chicago. Um, and then this brought out Sami Zayn, who wanted to honor Cena by starting the Sami Zayn US Open Challenge. And he wanted to give Cena a shot at the United States title, which Cena accepted. And this led into a match between Sami and Cena, which I mean everybody knew how this was going to end with Brock Lesnar coming out and killing everybody. But the match itself went through multiple commercial breaks, and Cena hit a ton of other people's finishers, and he went to go for an RKO as well at one point, which I thought was cool. Um, but you know, Cena ate a haluva kick, you know, and a near fall from that. Zayn ate a couple of AAs and you know kicked out of those, and the crowd was really getting into it. There was a couple of "This is awesome" chants, and and then after the avalanche AA off of the top rope, Brock came out, killed the referee, hit Sami Zayn with an F5, and then hit Cena with a couple of F5, to which then he went backstage and said, "Hey John, I'll see you at Wrestlepalooza, bitch." And the match was made official for Wrestlepalooza. So I know I just talked a lot there, but what did you make of the opening segment, and how do you feel about the second worst kept secret that we're going to be getting this match?
So even before the match, the opening segment, just to see Cena not getting any booze whatsoever in Chicago, when that is probably the number one city in the country that hates John Cena, was quite the sight to see. And of course, him talking about his history in there and his ruthless aggression introduction to Kurt Angle.
Yep.
facing Triple H there in pay-per-views, and it was quite fun to watch. I was surprised when he said that this was going to be his last SmackDown. So I'm assuming that he's going to be moving to Raw and finishing out there, which is
Well, he's kind
interesting.
of been on both shows though, right?
No, but if this is okay, that means he's not going to be on SmackDown at all going forward, which is
No, but
interesting.
like he's been doing both show, like he's been appearing on both
He
shows.
has, but he's mainly been doing the SmackDown stuff. He's been
That's
because he technically he was a SmackDown superstar. Um, but I think the more interesting part about that is how we've been talking about his potential final opponent and
the ring
who's,
general.
as I say, who has haven't we seen on Raw in a little while, and it was just confirmed that his final match is going to take place in DC, and there's talk about them doing something real special there. So I'm very interested to see what's going to come of that. Um, but then obviously Sammy came out, and if you remember, Sammy had his first break taking on Cena in a U.S. Open challenge, and it was honestly probably one of the best way to introduce Sami Zayn. I mean, I think it was even before Cena had his open matches against Kevin Owens, which they
Yeah.
alluded to during his match. But then the match itself, I mean, before we get to the match still, I think Sami Zayn doing an open challenge, as much as I hate Sami Zayn lately, is the right choice for him. I
Yeah.
think having him as a fighting champion is the correct move.
Yep.
And I would be fine if he surprise dropped it at some point. I don't think right away, but I think at some point. And part of me thinks that this is a test for the fact that they have him penciled in as the potential Rumble winner to see how he does carrying a belt like this going forward. And it'll be interesting to see. But the match,
I agree.
and then the
Yeah.
match itself, um, absolutely the greatest hits of John Cena's moves, busting out Kevin Owens pop up power bomb, and then going as long as it did surprised the hell out of me. I would not have expected that match to go that long, even with the way it ended.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, speaking to Sami Zayn, I mean, you got so many people you could pit him up against, right? Like there was a backstage segment at one point with Carmelo Hayes and Miz. And like, Carmelo very clearly wants to be in the US title picture. You've got Aleister Black, ready to go. He obviously still had his feud with Damian Priest going on, but that'll end eventually. You've got Damian Priest there. You've got a ton of other guys you could put in that feud. I mean, where's Jacob Fatu? Right? Like,
Right.
is he gonna just be okay? Which actually I wanted to bring that up with you after we're done talking about this segment. But you know what I mean? So
Give me right with it.
there are a bunch of guys like ready to go that could easily answer that challenge. And you could and probably should hot potato that US title for a little while, I think. I would be perfectly okay with that.
The
Um
the the nice thing though about a U.S. Open challenge is that you don't get stuck having to do heel versus face matches too. You can
yeah,
do face versus face matches.
yeah. Yeah, completely agree. One of our subscribers actually wanted to brought this up in the comments, so thank you for that. But what do you think about Jacob Fatu? And I kind of want to talk about this a little bit because like are they just done with him now? Like I mean, he's been ever since I mean, it seems like his thing with Solo is kind of done and we haven't seen him on TV in a couple of weeks. So like where are we going with him? He was supposed to be like the next big thing. And like now it just seems like they've just quietly dropped him.
So I think that they have had a real missed opportunity there of not doing a Hell in a Cell between Solo and Fatu. I think that was a perfect ending point for their feud. Part of me is wondering if he has some sort of injury, and that's what's keeping him out because all we've seen him doing is like tag matches where he hasn't really done a whole lot or backing up like Sami Zayn.
Mhm.
And to go from being the number one contender for that title to randomly backing up the guy who just jumped brands, it is real suspicious. So it has me wondering if he has something going on that they're keeping quiet.
I can see that. I mean, I don't know. I
It
just
just seems weird.
it's very strange to me that like all because they were really presenting him as the next big thing. And I remember when they did that, they had that segment on whatever show it was on where him and Braun Breaker like got face to face for a second there, and we were all like, "Oh my God, like that is your WrestleMania main event in like 2028," you know? And it just seems like they completely forgot about him.
That's a good point, though, because think about what happened on Monday when who came out to rescue Jay.
Jimmy,
So what's to say that Jacob's not going to be joining Jimmy? And they moved Jacob to Raw.
but what would they do with Jimmy then?
Jimmy's that's your you have Jimmy, Fatu, and Jay, and whoever else helping back up against the Vision.
You think it's against the Vision, or do you think it's against? Oh yeah, because I mean, I guess that's what happened. But then, what are you doing with Solo's group?
They are trying to go for they're trying to apparently be put in the tag division on SmackDown. They've been
So then,
talking about that for the last few weeks. I guarantee you at some point Solo answers Sammy's open challenge, maybe next week, and says, well, I never got my rematch. And I wouldn't be surprised if he still floats around in the background of that. Well, they try to put the rest of the MFTs um in the tag division because they had talked about that for a few episodes, how they wanted to go after the tag titles.
yeah, I guess I could see that.
I mean,
And,
if
and
I'm hot
honestly,
shot,
yeah, they should probably win it. Like, frankly, I think that they should probably win them.
yeah. I mean, if you're gonna have the Wyatts drop the titles to someone, if it's not gonna be either Fraxium and Ray and Andrade, I'd be fine with it being the MFTs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I would actually. I don't know if I would enjoy it, but I think I could see a world where we have the Wyatts feuding with the MFTs
Yeah.
because it's kind of like similar sized groups. You know what I mean? And you're right,
The only
Jimmy and Jay are kind of back together, I think, again. And it seems very likely. So we have a world right now where the SmackDown tag team division is very, very good, I think, and the Raw tag team division is kind of very, very garbage. But if you introduce the Bronze and you get the tag team belts onto them from Raw, which would be huge, I think, and then you insert Jimmy and Jay into that tag division, I think that helps that tag division a lot.
oh yeah. I'm also speaking of tag divisions, we'll go slightly off topic here for a second. They advertised Worlds Collide during the show, and
I saw that.
they mentioned that the New Day was going to be going up for the AAA tag titles. Watch them have the New Day win those tag titles.
See it. Can absolutely see it. That actually looks like it's going to be a good show. There's a lot of WWE talent in there. There's a mixed gender match, I think, with Finn Balor and Roxanne versus Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice.
Yep.
Dom is obviously taking on Vikingo. Um, yeah, there was the match that you talked about, and I think there was something else.
There's,
Natalia is facing somebody.
and then there's
Um,
an eight-person tag match
yeah, there's a bunch of WWE guys in that one too. So
and a
yeah, I think
special
that
appearance by Penta.
yeah, I think that'll be a very good show. It's next week, Friday, I think, right?
Yep. Free on YouTube.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's just interesting, and I thank you to our commenters in the chats there to talk about Jacob because I did want to get into that for a while there. So thank you for that. And if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, or we want love to hear your opinion. So please let us know in the comments down below. We'd love to discuss in more detail about any of these things that are interesting to you guys. So our first match after the John Cena Sami Zayn thing was kind of interesting. It was Damian Priest and Aleister Black, who they didn't even really make it down to the ring before they kind of started brawling right away. And this match to me, like, never really seemed to get going. I don't think. Like, I mean, they were beating the hell out of each other for a little while, but it seemed like I don't know. It just wasn't doing it for me. This match was slow. There were a couple of big spots at the end where he hit the razor's edge onto the table, but it just seemed like such a foregone conclusion that Aleister Black was going to win. And I don't know if I just have Damian Priest fatigue but I'm not into this feud at all.
I don't know that it would be Damian Priest fatigue for me. I think it's the fact that the match itself really didn't have any stakes. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
this whole feud started because Aleister Black was pissed off at Ron Killings. Like there, this it just. I mean, I'm glad that they've committed to having Aleister Black go over, and they haven't gone with the 50-50 booking. But it sucks to see that I think it hurts Damian to have lost several in a row like this and to have missed time. Um, so I'm hoping that this feud can just be over sooner rather than later. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Aleister Black is the one to take the U.S. title off of Sami.
Yeah, I would be okay with that. I think that's absolutely the right way to go. I think eventually.
The problem though with Damian Priest on SmackDown is I don't think there's enough stories for him over there. Like, I don't know who he's gonna feud with or what they can even do. Like, it feels like SmackDown isn't the right spot for him.
Yeah, but I mean, he was on Raw for like most of the time, right?
The problem with when he was on Raw is all they ever had him do was feud with the Judgment Day.
It's true.
Give me Damian Priest versus Rusev.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, way more fun than Rusev versus Sheamus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad that that one's over, and maybe we can get Rusev inserted into the Intercontinental title picture because you've got so many great guys like floating around the mid card on both Raw and SmackDown, and like you got those two mid card belts, which are just really not doing a lot right now. I mean, yeah, Sami Zayn's going to do this open challenge, and I guess it's a great way to get a lot of guys going right there. But like we've been talking for a while about how that belt needs to come off of Dominic, and you've got a bunch of guys there like ready to go.
Yep.
Rusev being probably at the top of that list. You know, Rusev, AJ Styles, Finn Balor. Like, I mean, I know Finn Balor's a tag team champion, but he probably won't be forever. You know, so you got a ton of guys like ready to go. Braun Breaker, you could put that on temporarily, you know.
And as far as the mid card titles go, with Sammy doing this open challenge, I really hope they do what they did when Cena did it, and we see a couple of people from NXT challenge for it. I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind. I wouldn't mind seeing Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn.
it's a good way to get
Give
those guys exposure.
exactly, and if they get a good response from the crowd, you know that it's might be time to call some of these guys up. Could you imagine a match between Sami Zayn and Javon Evans?
It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I
Sammy,
wouldn't bring up someone like Oba Femi because that would hurt Oba to lose to Sammy, I think. But
how about Sami Zayn versus Ricky Saints versus Ethan
yeah,
Page? Yeah,
yep.
that'd be a lot of fun. I mean, you know, all those guys.
There's talk in regards to Ethan Page about him being brought up to work with Chelsea Green because people are responding to their partnership in NXT so well.
Mhm. Yeah, I could see that. That would be, that's something that kind of makes sense. And I think, I think their storyline that they have going on with Charlotte and Alexa right now is going to probably grow and include a few more people because WWE seems to love their trios lately.
Yep.
So, so then we did have a title defense as well between our US champ Julia with Kiana James against Michin. And this match again was fine. Like, I think this is what Julia needs to do is to just go out and put on great matches. And the match itself was fine. I could have done without Kiana James getting involved at the end of the match, but Julia won with relative ease, which was probably very much to be expected here. It really kind of bothers me the way that they're presenting Julia. I really am disappointed that the crowd is not behind her at all. Like, I have a feeling that she's going to be future endeavored eventually because I think that the crowd is just not they really drop the ball with how they're booking her. I don't see her being around for the long term.
So I don't agree. I don't think that she'll be future endeavored. I think WWE just needs to figure out the correct way to book her. Um, I mean, Mishin is the perfect opponent for these kind of matches because she can always put on a good match, and she's one of those people who can is perfect enhancement talent that is still a big enough name that it matters to go over them. Um,
Yeah.
but I think I don't know if it's the fact that not enough people on like the casual fan side still know who Julia is yet, but I
Mhm.
think you have her on TV more, even if it's with Kiana James. You get her presented more and you have her defend her title more. And I think the crowd will start to learn more about her through that, and we'll see a change in that. And then obviously once she ends up dropping Kiana James, go from there. I imagine with a face turn of some sort. But I think that that's all it's going to take is just them finding the right way to present her to the casual fans, which hopefully is sooner rather than later because she is such a fantastic wrestler that that should be like with Vakar, where she mentioned that her first like she's not great at English, but the language of the ring is how where she gets her points across. I think it's the same way with Julia.
You know what the difference is, though, between the two of them? I'm just realizing this now. It's the packaging. And what I
Yeah.
mean by that is they're the same wrestler, right? Like they're both excellent, excellent wrestlers. They're probably some of the best young talent on the roster. And they're not even that young. But with that being said, look at who Stephanie Vicaire has been in the ring with.
Yep.
Io, Rhea, um, who else am I thinking? Who else has she been in the ring? Uh, she was going to be in the ring with Naomi. She won a battle royal, where she knocked Nikki Bella out. Like they've had her, go up against big, big stars. I know Becky's involved in something right now, but you need Julia to go up against big stars. Bailey, Lyra, Becky Lynch. You've got Charlotte, Alexa, you know, you have Julia has feuded with Zelina Vega and Michin.
Yep.
Like you need her to be feuding with bigger names. She needs to go and beat Chelsea Green. She need to have her beat Charlotte Flair. You know what I mean? Have her, that's the kind of thing that you need to be doing with her to present her as a star. Because you're presenting Stephanie that way. Because you tease Stephanie and Rhea's your biggest star. You know, you have Stephanie beating going into a match with Io. Io's a big star, You need to present
Oh,
Julia the same way.
have her beat Nia Jax. I mean, like
Yeah.
you're right. That is, just with you mentioning that and thinking about it, that is 100% the problem. They are the level of competition they have her going up against is actually hurting her. And
I don't even know if it's the company. It's not and it's not that Michin's a bad wrestler, and it's
I don't
not
mean
that.
it in that sense.
I mean, Zelina's not the best, right? But it's the level of star. Like
That's how I mean.
you're presenting Stephanie as a star because she's feuding with the people at the top of the card, whereas Julia is feuding with mid carders that nobody cares about.
Yep, it's the star power aspect of it. Put her up against a couple bigger named people,
Yeah.
and I think that if she gets a couple wins over those bigger named people, it gives her a much better presentation.
Yep.
It's why in NXT she was in all she was ever in was the main event.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why everybody talked about her. Everybody was all over it because it was main event and it was against people like Stephanie McCour and Jordan Grace all the time.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not going to give any. I'm not even going to give any credence at all to the idiots online that are like don't like her because she has dreadlocks. Like you people are stupid. So like I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna speak to that. Um, but with that being said, like yeah, you package her better and she'll do just fine. I didn't want to not bring
Yep.
that up because there are idiots out there that like judge people based on the way that they look and the way that they're presented and like cultural appropriation, but that has no place on this channel. And frankly, think that has no place in professional wrestling.
No.
So, but yeah, that was Friday Night SmackDown, and I'm thrilled AJ Lee is back. I think it's going to be great. Wrestlepalooza is going to be in 3 weeks from tomorrow, I think, and it's going to be
Yep.
a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it myself. I'm glad that they added it to the yearly roster of shows, even though I don't know if it'll be permanent. It might just be here as a introduction to WWE's cash grab with ESPN. But um, I
And
it,
uh, and for those of you, the counter programming against AEW.
it still is looking like it's going to be one of the most stacked shows in a while.
Yeah, probably the next, the next biggest one to Survivor Series. I think we got not much going on after that, so should be a good one. But that was our episode, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you looking forward to Wrestlepalooza as well? We'd love to hear it. And with that, have yourselves a fantastic evening and take care.